Hi, everyone, welcome to Film World Recap channel. An alien plane explodes as soon as it approaches the Earth's surface. Pieces of the plane are scattered across a city. From its pieces, a dangerous virus spreads among people. The virus is so dangerous that it completely changes people's minds. Those infected with the virus try to spread it to those who are not infected. The Invasion is a super movie about a dangerous virus that has destroyed a whole city. While inviting you to continue with the movies, if there is anyone who has not yet subscribed to the channel, please kindly remind them to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video and turn on the notification icon. The people of the city are suspicious of an alien invasion. Because of that, they are afraid to touch the pieces of the plane. Debris investigation teams begin to examine. Tucker, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, arrives at one of the testing centers. They discover that in those pieces of debris there is an invisible animal that spreads rapidly, is easy and impossible to destroy. Tucker leaves the testing facility and someone injures Tucker's arm with a piece of debris. He doesn't mind it that much at the time. When he comes home, it seems that the house dog does not go near him. He is sleeping at night and his face is distorted and he sweats and starts screaming. Elsewhere, hearing the sound of her child screaming, the child's mother runs to the child. This is Carol, she's a psychiatrist, the head of the Center for Disease Control. Tucker, her ex-husband, now divorced, and they have a child. That's Oliver. Oliver is now with Carol. In the morning, Tucker gives Carol a call and says she wants to see Oliver. She angrily disapproves of it and hangs up. Carol then drops Oliver off at school and gets into the car of her best friend, Dr. Ben Driscoll. Driscoll tells Carol that the investigation teams have withdrawn from examining the wreckage for a larger reason, that the government is covering it up. Carol is not in a good state of mind at the time, so the story stops there. Carol goes to the workplace. Her first patient tells of her husband's strange behavior. Although Carol is a psychiatrist, she cannot imagine what this disease is. But she prescribes some medicine. That night, Carol takes the children to a Halloween party with her neighbor Pam. Children go near a house and a dog in one house starts barking as if it senses something different. When the children go some distance, the dog escapes from the dog's owner and begins to bite Pam's son. The amazing thing is that even in that dangerous situation, the child is not concerned at all. The owner takes the dog. The group goes to Carol's house because the child is injured. Pam tells Carol that Pam's son has been acting strange these days and acting like an emotionless person. At that moment, Oliver starts to scream. Carol runs there. Seeing that Oliver has something like jelly in his hand that she has never seen before, Carol is scared and sends it to Driscoll's lab to examine it. Dr. Gallona, Driscoll's friend who is a brilliant scientist, examines it. At this time, the news is being told that a mysterious virus is spreading and that people infected with the virus are acting strangely and that thousands of people will die. It is said that the exact cause of this virus has not yet been found. At this time, the city's Grant disease control inspectors are holding an emergency meeting. There, Tucker says that the virus is spreading at an unimaginable speed, and if it cannot be stopped, the city may be destroyed. The examiners ask what the solution to this is. Tucker says a vaccine for the virus must be found. At this time, several people infected with the virus vomit into the tea that is given to everyone. Meanwhile, Carol reluctantly takes Oliver to Tucker's house for an essential weekend errand. They are going and a woman suddenly jumps in front of the vehicle. The frightened woman asks for help, saying that something terrible is about to happen. But before telling the reason, due to her excitement, she collides with a vehicle coming from the other side. The police are coming there. Carol goes to the police officers to tell about this incident. But the chief police officer tells Carol to go home quickly. Carol realizes that something strange is happening in the town. Carol leaves Oliver at Tucker's house to go to a party. There, Carol talks with several doctors and government officials about the situation in the city. The next morning when Carol goes to work, she notices something very strange. People are as if they are stoned, they are like people without souls. When Carol arrives at work, she is told that all the patients she was supposed to see have not shown up. At that time, a call comes from Carol's friend Driscoll. Driscoll says that the report of the investigation of the strange thing in Oliver's hand came. Then Carol goes to the lab. Gallono says that the strange thing contains virus spores, which can be fatal, and until a cure is found, it is not good for a person infected with the virus to sleep. At that moment, Driscoll gets a call. The caller says a friend of Driscoll's is acting strangely. The three go to see Driscoll's friend. He is in a very bad condition. When Carol tries to take his photo, he jumps on Carol's body. Driscoll then saves Carol. But after a while he vomits a liquid and dies. Scared of this, Carol quickly goes to Tucker's house to find Oliver. When Carol goes there, Tucker is in a meeting with a group of people. Carol asks Tucker about Oliver. Tucker says that Oliver is playing with his friend. But Carol can't see Oliver, she starts looking everywhere. At that moment, Carol realizes that something strange is happening. That is why she is trying to leave. But Tucker chases her down and throws her on the floor and vomits in her face. Carol somehow escapes from Tucker and runs to the car. Carol drives the car nervously and the car gets into an accident. As soon as she got out of the car, the virus-infected people started following Carol. Carol climbs into the train to escape from them. On the train, Carol receives a message from Oliver. The message says that he does not know where he is, come quickly and save him. All of a sudden, a group of people infected with the virus board the train and there is a commotion. They try to infect Carol with the virus. Because of that, Carol jumps off the train. And then she comes to the city. At this time, the police officers are arresting those infected with the virus to be vaccinated. In the meantime, a police officer who comes to Carol tells her to leave immediately after knowing that she has not been infected with the virus. By now the whole city is like a war zone. Some who think they can't escape the virus take their own lives. Carol somehow goes to Driscoll and Gallono's place. She begs for her help in saving Oliver. But Gallono and his assistant prepare to go to Merrill to find a cure for the virus. The group is coming out. They see a woman who is being treated by Carol being forcibly put into a vehicle by the police. It seems that she is not infected with the virus. They begin to find out how she did not contract the virus. They discover that she is suffering from a brain disease. That makes them understand that the virus only attacks healthy brains. At that time, Carol receives another message from Oliver. It says he is at his grandmother's house. Carol tells Driscoll that she will slowly become infected with the virus, and that she must save Oliver before she does. At this time, the police outside are catching the virus miscreants, so they are coming to the railway station with great difficulty. Finally, the two separate. Carol gets on the train. She is surprised to see Oliver's friend Jean on the train. Carol learns that he has been infected with the virus. Jean says he's going to meet Oliver. When Carol gets off the train, Tucker is there. Carol reluctantly goes with Tucker because she wants to find Oliver. Tucker takes Carol and Jean to his mother's house. Carol realizes that everyone is infected with the virus. In the evening, Tucker goes out. Taking advantage of this, Carol starts looking for Oliver everywhere in the house. Anyway, they find Oliver who is locked in a room. Finding out that Oliver is still free of the virus, Carol wonders why Oliver hasn't been infected. That's when Oliver says that I was bored and slept every day after taking sleeping pills. Carol realizes that sleeping pills do not infect the virus. At that time, Jean arrives there and tries to infect Oliver with the virus. But Carol pushes him away and runs off with Oliver. Tucker notices that Carol is going with Oliver. Tucker and his group chase after Carol and Oliver to capture them. The two go to an old warehouse and hide. But Tucker is suspicious and comes to the warehouse. Tucker notices them. Tucker starts harassing them. Carol punches Oliver in the head while harassing him. Tucker falls to the ground. They both quickly run away from there. Then the two go to a shop. Because she knows about medicine, she finds a shot at the shop's pharmacy, and gives it to Oliver to inject her if she falls asleep. At that moment, Carol receives a call from Driscoll. Carol tells Driscoll their whereabouts. Oliver walks up to a door with blood stains on it. Carol stops him and walks into the room to look. A few people infected with the virus are lying on the ground. One person has a gun in his hand. Carol comes out with the gun and locks the door. After a while, Oliver falls asleep. Not knowing what to do to Carol, she drinks all sorts of things to keep from sleeping. The next morning, Oliver wakes up after hearing a loud noise. Earlier Carol, in the locked room, the virus-infected people pound on the door. Seeing that Carol has fallen asleep, Oliver quickly injects her with the vaccine, saving Carol's life. That's when Driscoll arrives, and although Carol is happy, she realizes that Driscoll has also been infected with the virus. She pulls Oliver away from him and points the gun at him. But Driscoll opens the door and a group of infected enter. They try to capture Oliver. Carol shoots all the virus-infected, shoots Driscoll in the leg and runs away and gets into the police car. Carol leaves with Oliver and gets a call from Galano. Galano says that there is a place where there is a building, there is a helicopter parked on top of the building, to come to it. But those infected with the virus are trying to stop the vehicle. Carol, who is driving the car to throw away the infected, somehow comes to the building. The infected are still coming after them. Carol gets into the helicopter anyway. The army protects them. Finally, Dr. Galano finds a cure for the virus. In the end, the city is restored. Subscribe the channel and comment your valuable opinion and like it. See you in the next movie.